As we speak, there's probably at least 50 channels out there doing custom Glock builds. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but personally I wanted to do something just a little bit different for the first build on my YouTube. I started this build with a completely stock Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. The first thing I did was send the slide off to Floyd's custom shop for a little facelift action. Today though, we're going to look at the bottom end of this build. Down below I'm going to leave a link to my website where I'll have a parts list as well as contact information for Floyd's and anything else that may be pertinent to this build. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because next video we're going to take a look at the top half of the gun and do complete overview on it. I think it's going to turn out pretty sick. Alright, so here we have the Floyd's Magwell. We've got the +6 mag extension. Over here I've already installed the low profile mag base. These are actually really easy to install. It's just as easy as sticking a punch in this hole, depressing the spring a little bit, sliding that forward, take the old one off, make sure that's pushed in, slide the new one on. As far as the +6 goes, I've already got these screws just about ready. You're going to want to pull this plate off. This right here comes off. There we go. Put that locking plate on there. These screws go in, they lock everything down, and you're good to go. I'll go back and throw some Loctite on there after a bit just to make sure that those screws don't back out over time and create an issue. All these parts, the base plates and the Magwell, all came in anodized black, but I did go ahead and Cerakote them as soon as they came in, just give them a little custom flair. If you aren't sure about adding a Magwell to your gun for whatever reason, you know, maybe you're not sure how it's going to fit in your hand, and maybe you're questioning how well it's going to conceal afterwards, that's fine. But I will say that the Floyd's base pads are a huge upgrade over what came on this gun stock. First thing, they're machined out of aluminum, so they do have a little bit extra weight. So when you go ahead and pop that mag release, they're going to come out a little smoother, a little faster. The +6 extensions have the obvious advantage of having 6 more rounds capacity. The low profile ones have grooves cut in the side so that you can actually grip them a little bit better. If you ever have some sort of jam where your mag just doesn't want to come out, you still have the ability to grip a hold of that sucker, yank it out, swap mags, and get back to business. The Floyd's Magwell really isn't that hard to install. Just one thing to keep in mind, once it's on the gun, you're probably going to want to leave it on. Down in this little groove up here, there are some serrations, some teeth if you will, and once they go onto the gun, they butt into the plastic, and if you're putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, you're going to find that it's going to eat up the front end here, and eventually it's probably not going to have anything to grip onto. So I'm going to start out with just a couple drops of Lucas in here, a little Lucas gun oil. First step, we're going to take this sucker out of here. Really haven't taken this out very many times since I've had this gun. Because of the way this is designed to go on and stay on, do yourself a favor and make sure that you're happy with the sizing of the backstrap that's on here before you install a Magwell. You don't want to have to take the Magwell off to be able to replace this backstrap later on. I've got the medium size on there, and I find for me it's a perfect fit. So I've got this Magwell lightly oiled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the front side, and then I'm going to basically just work it on there. I may have to take it off camera to get better leverage on it, because it is going to be an extremely tight fit. That's the only way that you're going to get a Magwell that's going to sit properly and not shift on you. So I've got the Magwell started. It's really close to where it's supposed to be. Needs a little bit more adjustment, but I had to take it off camera and really just kind of work it, you know. Now, one thing to note, this is the original locking piece that comes with the M&P. What Floyd's does is they send this replacement, and yes, I did completely forget to Cerakote this when I did the Magwell, but you know what, I'm still waiting on the apex trigger. That's going to have to be Cerakoted as well. So when that comes in, I'll just pull this piece out, Cerakoted at the same time. Now that the Magwell is pretty much seated where it's supposed to be, there's no gap between the bottom of the gun and the actual Magwell. Everything lines up really well. I think I'm ready to lock this sucker in place. So this is going to go in, goes all the way down. Whatever you do, make sure that your screwdriver has a wide head on it. If you're using a smaller screwdriver, you run a really high risk of scratching everything. So go ahead and turn that. Okay. You know that it's locked in place when it's relatively smooth. If you can feel the edge of this locker, you know it needs to be turned a little bit more. I know it seems like a no-brainer, but some people need that instruction. So once the Magwell is installed, just go ahead and make sure that it's secure. It shouldn't move anywhere. It should be pretty solid, which this one is. So we're good to go. Because of how tight this Magwell is, and as far as differences in tolerances for the gun itself, you've got a lot of pressure squeezing in on there. You're going to want to go ahead and do a little test. Now, my mags don't have any issues whatsoever. Everything's locking into place just fine. Floyd's recommends, if at this point, when you test it out, if you're getting resistance due to the Magwell squeezing the actual grip, get a strip of 600 grit sandpaper, cut it about this wide and long enough to go up and over your mag, loop it over, slide it in a few times just to get a little bit of the plastic wore down in there. That'll make it nice and smooth. Everything will function fine after that. All in all, installation's been pretty easy. You know, I'm pretty happy with it. I've got a little extra room here to get a better grip. You know, my pinky's got a little bit more room. It's comfortable. It looks good. I just added 6 rounds worth of capacity to this. One thing to note, if you are going to add the Floyd's Magwell, your OEM base plates are not compatible with it. They're too big, the angle's wrong, whatever the case may be. They don't fit in there. You could probably bust out the Dremel and make it work, but honestly, why even do that? You might as well go ahead and get some of the Floyd's base plates and just have everything work the way that it's supposed to. Looking at this, so far, I'm actually really happy with the way this is turning out. Jeffrey, if you're watching this video, one suggestion, I'm gonna have all this Floyd stuff on this M&P, but you guys don't make an extended mag release. You know, hit up my email, let's talk, let's see what we can figure out with that. For everyone that is considering putting Magwell on their M&P, you know, this thing is pretty slim, it's pretty streamlined, it looks good. You know, it's not ridiculously oversized like some of the other ones that I was looking at. And I know what most of you are probably thinking right now. Cool story, bro. How's this thing gonna carry? I think when it comes to concealing a pistol that has a Magwell, the biggest thing is gonna be what you select for gear. I've got on Blue Alpha Gear's hybrid EDC belt and Spider Concealment's appendix rig, which I'll leave some links below if you want to check those out. And as far as before and after the installation of the Magwell, it basically feels the same. I mean, I can walk around, do my shopping, do whatever it is that I'm normally going to do, and I don't feel any difference as far as whether or not my gun is printing. Again, that's all in the gear. So as long as you choose the right holster, you choose the right belt, you should be just fine. Now that's going to be all for today, but make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the second half of the Floyd's custom M&P build.